Good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports. Here I am for some Sonics basketball, and it's going to be between the Seattle SuperSonics and the Dallas Mavericks, as the Sonics have now dropped 4 in a row after they were going had a 5-5 kind of run in the last 10 games. And I also just got back home from my Special Olympics basketball tournament. Well, half of it was I'm not saying half of it, but then I was mostly spending time eating Chinese food after the game, and then taking one of my players home from the game, from the Chinese restaurant. And the regionals tournament is actually going to be next week. It's going to be next week on Saturday in Federal Way. So wish me the best of luck that I will help lead this team into the Special Olympics state tournament, which is, not saying it's a dream. It's like my yearly dream that I love to do. It just means a lot. But also, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and now let's go back to 1999. All right, here we are. Time to play some basketball, as the Mavericks are struggling. They're at 17-26, while the Seattle SuperSonics are 15-32. Let's see how these players are doing these days. Dirk Nowitzki's in his rookie year, but he hasn't really been playing much. Michael Finley is their best player. Wonder who's on my starting lineups. Gaze, yep, it's about the same players. All right, let's get started. And we are getting started. Here is Jamie Watson to Rashard Lewis. Lewis with a jumper. He makes it. And that is the Sonics taking the early 2-0 lead. And here's Steve Nash taking it up the court. Rashard Lewis is scoring 14 points a game. Rashard Lewis is guarding Dirk Nowitzki. Now here's Gary Trent. And kickball violation. It's going to be Mavericks basketball. And here's Gary Trent to Dirk Nowitzki, and Steve Nash trying to go for a shot. And here's Sean Bradley. He misses it, and Dennis Rodman with the rebound. And Lewis for three. And now Sean Bradley with the rebound. And Jamie Watson with his valiant defensive effort. And Steve Nash gets it in. Here comes Jamie Watson to Jerome James. Watson is wide open for three. And Sean Bradley with the rebound. Here's Michael Finley. Here's Nash. And Rodman with the rebound. Now here is Watson. Nice pass by Lewis, blocked by Michael Finley. Now here's Gary Trent, and he jams it in. Jamie Watson's going to try to bring it in to Dennis Rodman. He tries to get it in, and he does. Nice post move by Dennis Rodman. Ruben Patterson is trying to cause the steal. And now Gary Trent with the basket. Now here is Jamie Watson. And now here's Ruben Patterson for three. He makes it. And the Sonics take a 7-6 lead. Steve Nash is now being double teamed. Now here's Dirk Nowitzki for three, the rookie. And Rodman could not get that rebound. Here's Dirk. Here's Finley for three. Oh, he makes it. And the Mavericks now take us 9-7 lead. And near steal. Lewis for three. No. Rodman with the rebound. The dunk. Nice rebound by Rodman. Steve Nash is now bringing it up. Here's Dirk Nowitzki. Nash for three. In and out. Now here's Rodman with the rebound. Gets it to Jerome James. Trying to make a post moves on Nowitzki. He is fouled, and he will go to the line. Free throws have been made. Free throw is missed, both of them, or one of them. And a steal by Watson. Lewis contested for three. Rodman tried to get the rebound. Here's Dirk Nowitzki with the jumper. Now here's Jamie Watson. Jerome James. Oh, no, it's a steal by Steve Nash. And he's trying to catch up. And Nash, he misses. Now they're trying to get it to Rashard Lewis. He's going to try to drive it in. And he doesn't. Now here's Michael Finley. Jerome James with the block. And fouled by Jerome James. Now here is Nash for three. He makes it. Of course he's going to make that from downtown. And the ball is lost again. Now here's Steve Nash. Blocked by Patterson. And here's Rashard Lewis. He might have a chance to get it to Dennis Rodman with the dunk with authority. And now he's guarding Steve Nash. That is Jamie Watson guarding him. And fouled. Now here's Macon for 3. Jerome James with the rebound. And now here comes Jamie Watson to Rashard Lewis. And he is fouled. He will go to the line. And he makes the free throw. Lewis will do it. He does it. Rashard Lewis with now 4 points. Dennis Rodman's actually leading the team in points. And a nice dunk. Now here's Jerome James. And he gets it in there. Jerome James definitely has skills. He has showcased his future. He has showcased his skills as the future center for the Sonics, as he is already in his rookie year averaging 10 points a game and at least 5 rebounds, but 2 blocks, and a 3-pointer by Dallas. Here's Dennis Rodman. No, he loses it. AC Green with the steal. And here's Macon. And here's Martin with a jumper. Misses. And Lewis with the rebound. Here's Jerome James, and he should be able to take it all the way. And he does. Jerome James with now 5 points. And Watson with the foul. Sundov. Now here's Martin for 3. And Rodman with the rebound. Less than 90 seconds left. Here's Patterson for 3. And here's Jerome James. And he's able to get that in. Jerome James with the moves. Here's Rodman. And Watson with the rebound. And here comes Ruben Patterson. Now here's Walker. And out of bounds, Sonics basketball. Now here is Watson. Here's Lewis with a jumper. He doesn't make it. Martin with the rebound. And here's a jumper. And he makes it. Now 41 seconds left. Here comes Watson to Jerome James. No, it's going to be stolen. And it's going to be up to Rodman to defend it. And he cannot get the block. Very shocking. Now here is Watson. He loses it. Now here's Patterson going to try and make the defense. And he's fouled, and he's going to go to the line. Count it and 1. Patterson for 3. He misses. Now here's Rodman to Macon. And that is a block. And that is out of bounds. There's Walker. Samaki Walker with a near buzzer beater. And Watson's not able to get it off at all. And we're going to go into the break. Here's Strickland for 3. Now Dallas is now ballooning their lead to 11. Now here is Jamie Watson. Tries to get it inside, and he is fouled, and he will go to the line as Jamie Watson will complete a 3-point play, and he does. Here's Macon, and that is going to be fouled by Resprit. Here's Macon. Here's Strickland. Here's Sean Bradley being guarded by Jelani McCoy. Gary Trent being guarded. Seconds left. And he is able to not make it. And here's Sean Resprit. Nice pass. And no, he misses it. Here's Gary Trent. Strickland for 3. McCoy with the rebound and stolen by Bradley. And a huge dunk. And I think that was Sundov with the dunk. And now their lead is extended to 11 to 10. Here goes Bennett with the screen. Here is Williams for 3. Shamon Williams from downtown. Guy's been really griping about his minutes. There's Sundov with the jumper. And Stevens with the rebound. Now here is Sean Resprit. Stevens for 3. No. He misses. Here's Sean Bradley. He makes it. Williams for 3. No. He misses again. And Sean Bradley, and he misses. And now here's Shamon Williams. Can he do it again for 3? He makes it. And he is keeping the Sonics in the game. He has brought them right back into it. Let's see how much more the bench can really do. It is now 35-29. And fouled by Williams. And now here's Michael Finley. Goes for the dunk. With authority. Now here's Williams with a dangerous pass. And now that is being... Now here is Bradley. And he is fouled. And he will go to the line. Sean Bradley, the Space Jam star. And he makes it. Now here's Shamon Williams. Goes for the 3. He makes it again. Shamon Williams with his 3rd 3-pointer of the game. He's trying to keep the Sonics in the game single-handedly. Here's Nowitzki. He misses, and now it's going to be rebounded. Now here's Stevens. He's being heavily guarded. And Resprit for 3. And they are just going haywire from downtown. And out of bounds, Sonics basketball. Now here's Shamon Williams. Gonna keep it going. Here's Bennett. And Williams for 3. No, he's not going to make it. Now here's Gary Trent. Now here's Nowitzki for the jumper. And he misses. Goes for the lay-in. Nope, he's not going to make it. Now here's Joe Stevens. Here's Resprit with a jumper. And misses. Sean Resprit has just not shown really much anything. Here's Gary Trent. Here's Michael Finley with the jumper. Williams again. And here's Bennett. And he is going to get it off that rebound. Sonics are still looking to make a comeback in this game. Now here's Michael Finley. Steve Nash. And now here's Dirk Nowitzki. What does he have? Nash for 3. He makes it. Now here's Shammond Williams. And they're trying to get their starters back on. Stevens for 3. No. And McCoy with the rebound. And now here's Resprit from up top. No, he's not going to make it. Gary Trent. I think they're just going to foul just to. And that is no. Here's Michael Finley makes the tougher shot. And now it's going to be timeout Seattle. As the Sonics are now struggling to buy baskets. It is now 37-47. Here's Patterson for 3. Rodman with the rebound. Now here is Patterson again. Now here's Lewis for 3. And he was wide open as he made that 3. He has now 7 points. And now it is 47-40. Here's Gary Trent being guarded by Rodman. Goes for the jumper, and he makes it. As Dallas is still in that heavy lead. Now here is Dennis Rodman. And he makes the fadeaway jumper. He has now 8 points. Get him some more touches as he has 8 points, 4 for 4 on 6 rebounds. And here is Nash for 3. Now here is Watson. To Jerome James. Goes for the hook shot and he makes it. Jerome James really can develop that as he has now 9 points. He is leading the team. Here's Gary Trent. Rebound Lewis. Now here's Watson, and he is fouled. As he will go to the line. Makes the first free throw. Makes the second free throw. 52-46. Nash is being covered by Watson. And he is fouled. Now here's Michael Finley being guarded. Nash for 3. Jerome James is trying to get that rebound, but he couldn't. Finley's being heavily guarded. Now here is a jump shot by Finley and misses. Now here is Watson. He's going to try to take advantage. And now here is Rashard Lewis. And he gets it in all the way. 52-48. The Sonics have crawled their way back to make it more of a game. Now here's Michael Finley or Steve Nash. And a nice layup. Now here's Watson. Jerome James tries to get it back to him. And he tries to post it in, and he misses. And seconds are left. Here's Finley. Now here is Nash with the jumper buzzer beater. That's the second buzzer beater by Dallas. And now Watson, he is not able to make it. And we will got this break. I'm going to go to the bathroom or get some water. Who should I put on? Stevens is not doing it any better either. Resprit's at least 1 for 2. I'll at least have them try to run the show and see what they can do. Now here's Resprit. And double team. Now here's Nowitzki with a jumper. He makes it. Now here's Shammond Williams. Needs some screens. Jerome James gets it to him. A nice pick and roll. A nice assist by Shammond Williams to Jerome James. Jerome James now leading the team with 11 points. He's kind of been their dominant force as he is developing to be. Now here's Nash. And Rodman with the rebound, his 7th rebound of the game. And where could this lead to? Now here is Resprit. He makes it himself. Rodman with 8 points and 7 rebounds. Now here's Rodman. Trying to do the triple team on Steve Nash. Here's Nowitzki for 3. And now here's Jerome James guarding. Nowitzki, and a steal by Rodman. And he could get point number 10. He does. Dennis Rodman now has 10 points. He is in double figures. And who would have thought he would be heavily a contributor? Now here's Steve Nash. Gary Trent. Now here's Williams. Here's Resprit for 3. Now here's Nowitzki. And blocked by Jerome James. Oh, and what just happened? I got to see that play again. That play was just absolutely bizarre. Well, first it was blocked by James. And he just dunked it. That was just weird. Here's not Steve Nash, Shammond Williams. Goes for the 3. He makes it. Shammond Williams from downtown. Timeout been called. Now here's Finley. Here's Nowitzki. Rodman with another rebound. And now here's Westbrook to Lewis. Nice pass. And he gets it to him for the basket, the easy basket. The Sonics are now crawling back to life again. Now just a 3-point lead for Dallas. Now here is Finley for 3. Lewis with the rebound. Now here's Rashard Lewis or Westbrook. Here's Lewis for 3. Misses. Now Rodman gets the rebound. And now here's Jerome James. Nice assist by Rodman. Unselfish teamwork. Gets it to Jerome James. And now it's Rodman has 9 rebounds. Uh-oh, that is a score by Dirk Nowitzki. Here's Williams. Westbrook for 3. He just cannot hit from downtown. He's now 2 for 7. Now here's Nowitzki with a shot. He makes it. Westbrook has really shown how streaky he really is. And he is wide open for 3. He makes it this time. John Westbrook from downtown is now 2 for 5. Now here's Steve Nash. And the lay-in. Ruben Patterson's going to check in. Here's Westbrook for 3. Again! John Westbrook from downtown. Made 2 in a row. And fouled by Lewis. Now they're going to bring in the bench. Plus Jamie Watson and Ruben Patterson. And now here's Michael Finley guarding Joe Stevens. He goes for a jumper. And Bennett with the rebound. And Stevens loses the ball. Mavericks have it. Now here is Macon. Here's to Martin. Now here's Finley for 3. McCoy with the rebound. And here comes Joe Stevens to Ruben Patterson. Wide open. Watson for 3. Rebound. Now here's Ruben Patterson. Able to get the guarding on Watson. Very good defense. Now here is Patterson with the dunk. 15-6 run. Now here's a 3-point attempt. He makes it. Now it's 71. And now here is Watson. And he will not make it. Now 71-69. Finley for 3. And now here's, wow. Hello, Matthew. How you doing? Watson 2. Oh, no. He throws it away. Now here's Bennett. Easy pass to Finley. Now makes it a 6-point game. Here's Bennett. Tries to get in on Nowitzki. Rebound McCoy. He's double teamed. Patterson for 3. He makes it. Ruben Patterson from downtown. Now here's Watson to Macon. And now it's a steal by Watson. Can he go in all the way? Nope, he's not going to. Now it's a lay-in by McCoy. McCoy gets his first basket. Now here's Martin. Finley for 3. Oh, he makes it. Here's Watson. Trying to do all this magical dribbles. Here's Stevens. Nice pass by Stevens to Patterson for 3. No, McCoy couldn't get it. And now here is Macon going with a jumper. And Watson gets another rebound. And he's going to go in all the way. And Watson took it all the way. And now it's only 14 seconds left. There's Martin. Goes for the jumper. And he makes it. Third buzzer beater in a row by Dallas. And that is going to end it. Oh my goodness. Going to be Jerome James, Shammond Williams, Rashard Lewis, Sean Resprit, Dennis Rodman's 5 for 5. They're going to go with the starting 5. I think I want to see Resprit get some shots. Lewis for 3. He makes it. Lewis from downtown. He has 14 points. It is now 80-79. As Dallas is starting to crumble. 3-pointer. And he makes it. Now here's Watson to Jerome James. Goes for the shot and the foul. Jerome James making magic happen. And a 3-point play. He has now 16 points. As Sonics have been playing very well in the paint. Now double team. Now here's AC Green. Goes for a jumper. And he misses. AC Green got his own rebound. He was fouled by Jerome James. And now he is going to go at the line. Shooting 2. And misses. And he makes it himself. Now here's Watson to James. Going to try it again. He's fouled. And he goes to the line. And he misses the free throw. He makes it this time. It is now a 1-point game. And Rodman loses his assignment. And I think that was Jahidi White with the lay-in. Here's Rashard Lewis for 3. Nope. Jerome James couldn't even get it. Now here's Finley with a 2-pointer. Lewis makes it. No, he gets the rebound. And here's Watson with the dunk. 9 points for Jamie Watson. And I think they're going to start going to their bench. Here's White. And he makes the fadeaway shot. Watson's coming up, and here's Jerome James. Nice pass to Dennis Rodman. And goes out of bounds. He loses it. They tried to get him more touches, just did not work out. It's now 88-85. Nowitzki for 3. And Resprit with the rebound. And here's Dennis Rodman. And he misses. Here's Nowitzki for 3. Rebound, Resprit. Watson wide open. He's not making it. What's going on with you people? Now here's AC Green and makes it. Oh my goodness. Here's James. He makes it. James is at 19 points. Continues his dominance. And timeout's been called. Here's Nash. He checks in. And Bennett with the rebound. Here's Jelani McCoy. Slows it down. Williams for 3. And he ties the game. He has now 15 points. As Dallas is starting to get in trouble. Here's Nash for 3. Here's Bradley with the rebound. Tries to post up and he makes it. Now here's Shammond Williams. And steals. Now here's Finley. Stevens with a long 3-pointer. And misses. I think they're going to have to bring their starters back eventually. Rodman standing. Nash for 3. Oh my goodness. Timeout has been called. The bench has been very disappointing. Bennett has just 3 rebounds. What are they going to do? They're going to try. I think they're going to keep trying Resprit. If not, then they'll try Joe Stevens. Here's Watson. Resprit for 3. No. And blocked by Lewis. Here's Resprit with a high jumper. He makes it. 13 points for Resprit. He has 10 points alone in the second quarter. Or second half. Here's Nowitzki to Finley. And a post. He will go to the line. That's going to bring in Shammond. That should be bringing in Shammond Williams. And that does. Joe Stevens and Shammond Williams are going to try to see if they can get any kind of a victory. Now here is Williams. Goes for the pull-up 3. And Lewis tried to do the putback. Now here's Steve Nash. Was heavily guarded by Rodman. Heavily contested. And now here is Stevens. And he couldn't make it himself either. And Rodman with the block. Now here is James. And he makes it. Now he has 21 points, leading the Sonics. Jerome James is making his case to be on the rookie team. Now here's Finley. He makes it himself. Now we got Shammond Williams. As James is always open. Starting to lose the ball a little bit. Lewis for 3. He makes it. Lewis now has 17 points. And timeout's been called by Seattle, by Dallas. Now Nowitzki. And Rodman with another rebound. I think now has 10 rebounds. There's James. Stevens for 3. And he is just not hitting it from downtown. Now Nowitzki with the dunk. With authority. He has now 14 points, 6 rebounds. And now stolen by Bradley. Now here's Michael Finley. And now Stevens with another rebound. There's Rashard Lewis. Goes for the 3. No. And Sonics are running out of time. Now here's Nowitzki. James with the rebound. Gets it to Rodman. Jerome James to Stevens. Williams for 3. No! He misses it. And I think that might be it for Seattle. And now here's Steve Nash. No, he misses it. Now here comes Jerome James. He'll get the easy lay-in. Decides not to dunk for whatever reason. But now it's a 3-point game. There's still time. They're not opting the foul. Now here's Michael Finley. And somehow Jerome James couldn't get a hand on that. Now you just got to take some kind of a shot. Williams for 3. No. Lewis gets it. Now here is Stevens for 3. No. And I think that just might do it. And that's going to be a foul. And now he is going to go to the line. Just an absolute disappointing finish it may be for Seattle. It's a 6-point game. And it was actually a clear path foul, which means Dallas will also get possession. Cannot believe it. Now here's Martin. Now it's fouled by Jerome James. They're going to bring in Jelani McCoy and Jamie Watson, as this game is pretty much over. And now we've got Jamie Watson for 3. And that was Sean Resprit with a 3-pointer. And they're still fouling. They still want to keep fighting. Here's Strickland. Free throw. Another free throw has been made. Now here's Jamie Watson. Resprit for 3. And that will do it. Dallas Mavericks hang on to beat the Seattle SuperSonics 110-102. Player of the game belongs to Michael Finley. He had an excellent game. As for the Sonics themselves, Jerome James, 23 points, 5 rebounds. Rashard Lewis with 17 points. Respert with 16. Shammond Williams with 14. Oh boy. All right. So the next game I'll be playing is Washington, which I should be able to do that tonight. Happy February. Almost 2 weeks until the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. Let's see, did they even select the rosters yet? The All-Star votes. Jason Kidd will be the starter, along with John Stockton, Shaquille O'Neal, Karl Malone, and Kevin Garnett. Iverson, Hardaway, and Smith. Brent Hill, Lonzo Mourning, and Fat Sean Kemp. Rookies of the month have all been Rashard Lewis, Mike Bibby, and Michael Olowokandi. Jerome James feels like he should be in that conversation, which I would have agreed. Andrew Gaze, 16 points per game. Rashard Lewis at 14.1. Jerome James is getting up there in 12 points a game. And Jerome James has been on fire. He's been scoring 20 points in 3 consecutive games. In the month of January, he's been impressive. Like, he's really developed. Like, in the first parts of the season, he wasn't really doing much. And now he's been taking a lot more attempts, including a 10 of 11 game. Well, I am going to take off. That is it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Wizards game. Everyone, have a fantastic night.